We live in a world where you can get anything you want at the touch of a button, except for the one thing that you really need, which is love. I mean, sure, you can find people online or meet them in some other way, but it takes a long time to establish a relationship with someone. And in my personal experience, I know this for a fact, is that people give up on relationships because it's not the thing they thought it was, or nothing's happening, or there just isn't any energy anymore. And I think that if we sink down to the idea that God is the same way. For a while, I was in the state of mind where God and I didn't really have a relationship, but after I started to establish a relationship, a lot of things changed in my life, and honestly, I don't know what I would do without Him at this point. But before this, I had given up a little bit, stopped calling out to God because I had thought that God wasn't answering. I think that we imagine a relationship with God as we imagine relationships with humans, and in the process, that we forget the fact that He is all powerful, and we try to put Him down a little bit so that we can reach Him. But what I didn't know back then was the idea that God can, or I knew it, but I didn't have faith that He could, until He did. And when that wall was broken, I realized that God could do anything, and I also realized that God truly cared for me. And I think the mistake that I made was partially my lack of faith. And another thing, which I didn't believe at the time, but God had a roadmap planned out for me and for everyone else. And on that roadmap, it's not necessarily a straight line. It has a lot of squiggles and big hills. And you're sitting there in your car and you're looking at your map and you start to question God a little bit because this map just doesn't seem right. But the God who made you and all your skills for your life also made the map. So I don't think it was a mistake. Therefore, you are also not a mistake. You have the skills that you need to fulfill a certain purpose. Do you really think that after all that, God was just careless in designing your roadmap? There will be speed bumps and crazy trails that you might have to ditch your car and hike, or maybe there's violent weather. But God put all that there for a reason. And when it comes down to it, all the bad stuff is there to ensure our faith, to strengthen us, and to see where our relationship with God really is. Because out of all the relationships that we might have right now, I think this one is the most important. Certain things happen, and it can be hard to trust God and hard not to question God on where we're going because you might not like where you're going right now. In fact, the fact of the matter is that we are warriors. Those who have faith are healed, and those who have faith are given strength. It's important to be prepared for the battle to come because everything is constantly changing and we don't know where the next turn is, but we do have to trust our roadmap because if we try to do it ourselves, trust me, temptation will find you, and when it does, you will not have God on your side, and it's a battle you just can't win alone. I know, I've been there. It's dark and it makes you feel that wherever you do in life won't be enough, and it makes you ask the question, why am I still here? And if temptation were to get to you, it will make you lose sight of God. Isaiah chapter 54, verses 6 through 7. The Lord will call you back as if you were a wife deserted and distressed in spirit. A wife who married young, only to be rejected, says your God. For a brief moment I abandoned you, but with deep compassion I brought you back. But if God has the power and ability to take the Israelites out of Egypt, and if He can create the entire universe and do all these things, can't He save you? You can't have a relationship without trust, and it all starts with a little bit of faith.